wrestling fans, when it comes to the Royal Rumble event, when it comes to the prestigious Royal Rumble, what comes to mind? Ric Flair winning the 1992 Royal Rumble matchup to become the WWE champion. Undertaker winning the 2007 Royal Rumble matchup. And Shawn Michaels, the last one being eliminated. Both of them starting the Royal Rumble matchup the following year in 2008. What comes to mind? 1990 and 1991, Hulk Hogan winning the Royal Rumble match. Stone Cold Steve Austin dumping Bret the Hitman Hart after Stone Cold Steve Austin was already eliminated. Bret Hart and Lex Luger, both feet hitting the floor. All of those great memories, plus so much more, stand out about the Royal Rumble event. Even matches that was on the card that doesn't even have to do with the Royal Rumble match itself. Those stand out, don't they? Sergeant Slaughter and the Ultimate Warrior for the WWE Championship. That match set up the retirement matchup between the Macho King Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. Because Macho King Randy Savage helped Sergeant Slaughter become the WWE champion at the Royal Rumble 1991. All of that, plus so much more memories, so many more memories we have about the Royal Rumble event. We cherish about the Royal Rumble event. But when it comes to the 1993 Royal Rumble event and the Royal Rumble itself, many wrestling fans out there sometimes overlooked that particular year. And why is that? Well, that's because you would think that's a downtime, kind of a non-exciting year for the WWE. I mean, look what we got in the eyes of a lot of wrestling fans. Alexa Express, which was an epic failure. Bret the Hitman Hart and his family taking on Shawn Michaels and the Knights at the Survivor Series. We got WrestleMania 9, hailing from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it was one of the worst, I think most of the wrestling fans out there will agree, one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. Out of all 30, going on 35 WrestleManias, one of the worst, if not the worst. All of that plus more happened in 1993. But when we think about the Royal Rumble, what comes to mind? Razor Ramon versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty for the Intercontinental Championship. The Steiner Brothers versus the Beverly Brothers in the tag team encounter. Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East, and the big boss man, trying to make him serve some hard time in a one-on-one matchup, and the Royal Rumble match itself, where 30 men are fighting to go on to WrestleMania to face the WWE champion for the championship in the main event. And it was the actual main event at that time, back in 1993. So, when we think about the Royal Rumble, it was a pretty good encounter as far as the Royal Rumble match itself and an overall pay-per-view. You have to give it a round of applause. WWE put on a very good show. The card itself might sound a little lackluster, but overall, when I break this down to you, go over it with you, WWE did a good job. And they had a tremendous pairing in Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. So let's go over this, shall we? First off, if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. We have 176 subscribers on the channel right now. Thank you if you are one of them. Much appreciated by me and everybody else that makes this channel what it is for you fans out there. Plus, go to Facebook and Twitter right now and follow me on there. A lot of fun and hard work goes into that as well, with polls and other posts. And, I follow along during Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views and put my opinion on what is going on during that as well. So go and follow me on there. That would be much appreciated if you have one of those social media websites at 2007 Webby. Don't forget to do that as well. But now, the Royal Rumble, 1993. Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain Heenan calling the action. Tremendous, absolutely tremendous from top to bottom. Them getting on each other's nerves. Bobby the Brain Heenan absolutely just making Gorilla Monsoon cringe. Gorilla Monsoon saying, "Will you stop?" Every time Bobby the Brain Heenan is saying that Bret Hart and all the baby faces are possibly cheating, pulling the tights and everything, when you can clearly see that they're not doing anything of that nature. And you are hearing Bobby the Brain Heenan say that Bret Hart should just give up, call it a day, have Razor Ramon become the WWE champion and take his rematch at WrestleMania. It was absolutely fantastic to hear them call the action. Tremendous. Wish we had more of that kind of commentary on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live today. But they have a different style of commentary right now in WWE. But in the opening contest, we had the Beverly Brothers taking on the Steiner Brothers. Very good encounter to kick off the 1993 Royal Rumble. You had it wasn't a complete fast-paced matchup because, the Beverly Brothers did not work fast-paced. They were kind of a methodical tag team, but they were going against the Steiner Brothers, which absolutely was, for that time period, a fast-paced tag team. And honestly, one of the most memorable parts of that matchup, in my estimation, was the very ending of it when Scott Steiner did the Frankensteiner on Bo Beverly and planted him with the Frankensteiner, and he looked like his head went straight through the mat, and his head just absolutely hit the mat. I mean, it looked like it would have really hurt, but it was a tremendous match to kick off the Royal Rumble. Didn't have like too much of a build to it. It was mostly there to get the Steiner brothers to another level, enhance their character, their momentum, because later on, the Steiner brothers did become the tag team champions in the WWE, defeating Money Incorporated for the tag titles. So, that's kind of what this match was for in my eyes. But good opening contest for the Royal Rumble. In the second contest, we had Shawn Michaels taking on Marty Jannetty. Tremendous matchup at the Royal Rumble in 1993. You had Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, who was former tag team partners in the WWE. They, were the Rockers, were on a roll. And then they started having some dissension. Shawn Michaels clearly wanting to go by himself. And quite frankly, they were at the barbershop at the very end of 1991, and Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music, before they called it that, Marty Jannetty straight in the face, turned on Marty Jannetty, took Marty Jannetty's head, and shoved him straight through the barbershop's window, as a lot of wrestling fans know, because they still show that clip as one of the most vicious acts in WWE history. Now, when we think about the rest of the build, besides that, because that was a great start to this build. Marty Jannetty then takes some time off. Shawn Michaels goes on for a good singles push, beating Tito Santana, having a rivalry with Rick Martel. He's with Sensational Sherry. Sensational Sherry gives him an extra layer to his character. From there, he wins the Intercontinental Championship from the British Bulldog. Has a matchup at Survivor Series 1992 with Bret the Hitman Hart. Goes on to the Royal Rumble 1993 for Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty comes back, and quite frankly, in what Gorilla Monsoon would say was a miscarriage of justice, because Shawn Michaels gets out of the way and Sensational Sherry gets hit in the face with the mirror that Shawn Michaels was showing off in. Marty Jannetty accidentally hits her with that mirror and kind of sets up this matchup, so to speak, because Marty Jannetty wins the Intercontinental Championship from Shawn Michaels. From there, Shawn Michaels wins it back, and then the Royal Rumble matchup is set. Matchup itself, tremendous contest. And quite frankly, went back and forth, had the crowd on the edge of their seat. It was the best match on the card, if you ask me, that particular event. 1993 Royal Rumble event. Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty stole the show that night by far, until the very end. When they had Marty Jannetty get hit by Sensational Sherry with her shoe, and that is what knocked him out. And Shawn Michaels 1, 2, 3, wins. And he did not win clean. Therefore, Shawn Michaels won kind of dirty, and Marty Jannetty was protected because of an inadvertent hit by Sensational Sherry. And Sensational Sherry was trying to hit Shawn Michaels. It was not a disqualification because the referee was knocked out. But it was a very good contest. And, kind of ended the rivalry right there. But very good matchup for the Royal Rumble. From there, we go on to Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East, taking on the Big Boss Man. The Big Boss Man trying to make Bam Bam serve some hard time. And, the biggest thing about this was building up Bam Bam Bigelow. Because Bam Bam Bigelow, quite frankly, was getting a pretty big push in 1993. If you remember, in the King of the Ring, 1993, he went on to the finals to take on Bret Hart at that event, where he lost to Bret Hart, but still, he went to the finals. He beat Hacksaw Jim Duggan, then got a bye, and then he went to the finals of it and lost to Bret Hart. But still, he was getting a pretty impressive push in 1993, and this was a good step in it, beating the Big Boss Man. It was kind of a slow, methodical matchup. Bam Bam Bigelow beating up Big Boss Man throughout the match. A pretty impressive victory for Bam Bam Bigelow. Big headbutt off the top rope for a 1, 2, 3. Really impressive for Bam Bam Bigelow. But whatever the case, Bam Bam victorious at the 1993 Royal Rumble. Moving on to the WWE Championship matchup. Bret the Hitman Hart taking on the bad guy, Chico Razor Ramon, where Razor Ramon had gold on his hands, gold around his neck, and he won Bret Hart's gold around his waist. Could he do it? We would all find out at the Royal Rumble. And he didn't. He did not. Bret Hart, as we know, won WWE Championship October 1992 and held it to WrestleMania 9, where he lost it to the man who won the Royal Rumble matchup, which I'll go over in just a second. But Bret Hart beat Razor Ramon after a very good contest, and Razor Ramon took it to Bret Hart throughout this matchup. Very impressive. Bret Hart made Razor Ramon look like $1 million. I mean, $1 million. Razor Ramon looked impressive by himself, but with Bret Hart in it as well, great chemistry. Absolutely great chemistry. I mean, backbreakers, ramming Bret Hart into the steel post, amongst other things. I mean, it was tremendous. Absolutely tremendous contest. And in the end, Sharpshooter, Sharpshooter, tap out, Bret Hart, still WWE champion. Bobby the Brain Heenan unveils the narcissist, Lex Luger. Before Lex Luger tried to take the place of the immortal Hulk Hogan as the big top babyface in the WWE, he was a narcissist. Just this. I have to look at myself all the time. I am just this absolute fantastic, awesome. Look at my triceps and biceps and look at my body, Lex Luger. Okay. Yeah, this character was whatever, you know. He had a tremendous match in the King of the Ring tournament with Tatanka that ended in a no contest because they went the time limit. But overall, this was nothing. A nothing character. And proof was when Vince McMahon, WWE, killed it and made him red, white, and blue Lex Luger, the all-American hero, and gave him the Lex Express going into SummerSlam. But whatever. And finally, the Royal Rumble match itself. The 500-pound Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble match. Kind of predictable. I mean, honestly, Yokozuna at that time was the one that was getting the biggest push. It came down to him and the Macho Man Randy Savage. The Macho Man Randy Savage was taking it to Yokozuna right there at the very end. Moved out of the way when Yokozuna went for the big back slam into the corner. And then went for the elbow, hit it, and then he went for the pin. Made Macho Man, in my estimation, look kind of dumb because there's no pins in the Royal Rumble. Macho Man knows that. He's been in the Royal Rumble match before. So watching the Royal Rumble now and seeing Macho Man do that made the Macho Man look kind of dumb. But I understand why they did that, because Yokozuna pushed Macho Man all the way off of him, over the top rope and onto the floor where he won. And he went to WrestleMania 9 and won the WWE Championship from Bret the Hitman Hart. Then lost it to Hulk Hogan, and then won it back at the King of the Ring 1993 from Hulk Hogan, which we all know where all that went to. WrestleMania 10. Bret Hart and Lex Luger. But that's for a complete another day with the 1994 Royal Rumble review. I hope you enjoyed this Royal Rumble review. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.